Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Career Conversations here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Rob Goodman. I'm the Natural Sciences Career Specialist here at the university. It's my role to make you as competitive as humanly possible for your next steps. Today, we're joined by Jesse, who's part of our Yosemite Leadership Program, also works for a number of different national parks here within our national park system. It's going to talk to you a little bit today, a lot about some incredible opportunities within the park system, trends that you're seeing out there, as well as probably the Yosemite Leadership Program itself. Today, we will begin with the first question that we always begin with, the question that you as a student should prepare for, because it's very likely you will get this question in an interview. The question is, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Rob. It's awesome to be here and to get to connect with students in a different medium than I am familiar with. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Michigan. My parents started me hiking and backpacking very young. And my first trip to a national park was 10 years old, going to Grand Teton. And coming from Michigan, which is very flat, seeing the mountains was a pretty revelatory experience for me. It's something that was deeply embedded in things that I care about for years to come. Continued having trips with family, and when I graduated from college, I knew that I wanted to spend some time working in national parks before I figured out what the rest of my career would be like. And I had an opportunity to go be an intern up in Denali National Park, which is up in Alaska, and my mind was completely blown. That place is so spectacular and so amazing. And I spent 5 summers working up there, being amidst the most vast, wild landscape that I've ever seen. And during that time, I also spent a significant amount of time being semi-retired, because in the Park Service, there's some jobs that you can work 6 months a year and have 6 months off. And I was climbing, skiing, and traveling in the winters from through my mid-20s. One of the places I visited a bunch, because my sister worked there, was Yosemite National Park, and I fell in love with rock climbing. And I have been an avid rock climber since the late 90s and found my way to Yosemite to kind of invest a little bit more time in year-round community as well as in my climbing pursuits starting in 2004. And a couple years after that, the things that I started to notice in national parks were that though they say, we purport to be for everyone, not everyone gets to visit and not everyone gets to benefit. And that is how I found my way to my partnership with UC Merced. Back in 2006, I wrote one of my first grant proposals for a program to try and increase equity of access to national parks for underrepresented communities. One of my supervisors saw that and was working on a relationship with UC Merced, which only had been open for a couple of years at that point. And I got recruited to apply for a job that would help build the park presence on campus starting in 2007, and I've been doing it ever since. And it's honestly the highlight of my career is getting to work with the school, getting to work with the students here, and getting to continue to open doors and access to national parks and wild spaces.
Incredible, incredible story, incredible background. In terms of the national and state park system, I mean, those are really large within our state in particular. Some of the most beautiful places on the planet are in this state. What sort of trends are you currently seeing within the system as a whole? Any shifts that our students should know about?
Yeah, I think a couple of things that are really important. National parks, especially the big wilderness parks that you find out in California, are places that are relatively undeveloped compared to many places in the country, and thus can provide really cool opportunities, one, to escape from the pressures of everyday life and society, to give yourself an opportunity just to be. But also as an academic, they're wonderful places for us to better understand the ways that human-caused anthropogenic climate change are affecting the ecosystems in and around California, and as a result, some of the other places in the world. Because they are relatively unchanged for hundreds of years at least, they do provide that wonderful laboratory. So some of the changes and challenges that we're seeing there are the same ones that we're seeing other places. It's just that signal is easier to read because there's a little bit more natural environment within which to see it. Other trends that I think are really important, our current administration is very interested in making sure that parks are for all people. And so this focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion is a really big part of the current administration and an awesome opportunity for us to make sure that we're living up to our ideals and providing everybody who wants to have a park experience and deserves to have one can have access to one. So I think those are a couple of big trends that we're seeing right now.
Awesome. And, I always go up there. I have a daughter. She's in 4th grade.
Cool.
And so we always get to go up there and have visits. She has, I guess, little coupons for admission to go to a lot of these parks just to check them out. And I always thought that was cool, as the next generation can sort of visualize themselves at a lot of these places as well. On the idea of trends that you just mentioned, how can our students right now adapt to this? What can they do in terms of prepping right now if they see themselves possibly in a career up there? What can they do right now to sort of prep?
I think the students here are actually kind of uniquely prepared to meet some of the challenge of the future. You know, the strong science focus that many of our students have, and also the strong focus on kind of the social sciences. Those are both really, really important. Not only understanding what's happening in the natural and the environment, the ecosystem, but also how are people choosing to interact with parks. Why are better understanding some of the visitor behaviors and their wants and desires, or the types of activities that are dependent upon that place that they're interested in. I think these are things that UC Merced students actually have a really strong foundation in. The things that I think they bring that are very necessary for the future of parks are this, like, intergenerational understanding, understanding of communities that crosses cultural boundaries, multilingual, people that are able to speak multiple languages, incredibly useful. Our visitation is, a lot of California, but also very international. And so being able to meet the visitors in ways that are very welcoming, especially speaking other languages, it's just such a powerful way of feeling welcome. And so I think a lot of those things that UC Merced students already have, they'll bring to this environment and help meet some of the trend changes that we're seeing in parks. The other thing I'd say is, like, being well-rounded, and also, like, focusing on some of those quote-unquote softer skills, the ways that you communicate, the ways that you address chaos, stochastic situations, things that are maybe unpredictable, the ways that you adapt, the ways that you work together with other people on large projects that have multi-year timelines. Those all are super valuable. Some of the hard skills like many industries, we're very capable of training people on some of the hard skills, but it's those softer skills, the ways that people communicate, the way that they connect with others, the way they work as a team, the way they address these kind of unpredictable situations that we're seeing not only throughout the environment and the ecosystem, but also in the working world. There's just been so much that has happened in the last 3 years that nobody was going to predict. And so being adaptable and focusing on care for others, those are things that I think people could really spend some time on and develop, and that would be hugely beneficial no matter what career they chose. If it's the Park Service, I'm psyched.
Just discussing those last 3 years, there's been a lot of people have been saying there's been a paradigm shift in just the way that people are thinking, people adapting to this new environment. But a lot of people are saying, like, well, those changes were coming for a while, and that last 3 years, this was just a good opportunity to start advancing with a lot of the new tech that we have coming in, and just ways. But I really love the national parks as like a really good outlet. It's peaceful. It's away from what we're seeing right now, and so it's a really good way to sort of have some escapism, if you will. So speaking about training for students, what they need to know about adapting to the trends that you see, we have the Yosemite Leadership Program, and this is a program here at UC Merced that a lot of students are really eager to participate in. It's one that you always see a lot of applications in. I always see students coming to the office, banging on the door, asking, how do I get into this program? Which is what I'm about to ask you in terms of a question. how are students competitive for this program? What are you looking for? And so instead of banging on my door, maybe you can just tell them right here, right now, what makes them competitive in the application process?
Um, I think the thing we're looking for is not any specific major. If you think about jobs in parks, especially a park like Yosemite, literally anything you can think of, there's probably someone who's doing that job. So we're not interested in just people that are either committed to or have a strong background in hiking and backpacking or connection to national parks already. That is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is people that exhibit the passion and commitment to make real positive change in their community or in the environment. That is what we're looking for, because doing the hard work that is going to improve the communities that we live within, be that the natural communities or the social communities, that is work that requires dedication. And what we want to know is, are people dedicated? And so the thing that I'm really looking for and that we're looking for in applications is that personal connection to and commitment to creating positive change in their communities, be it the community of plants and animals or the social community that you call home. That's really what we're looking for. So showing your ability to commit to this kind of endeavor by taking the time to actually put a lot of thought, energy, and effort into your application, it shows. It shows. And so that's really, it's not, if you spent your whole childhood hiking throughout the Sierra Nevada, that is not necessarily what we're looking for. It's not. So I would encourage those who don't see themselves as nature people or people who connect with the natural world like inherently on their own, or avid hikers. That is not necessarily the people that this program is for. And it's for everybody. So it's for those people, but it's also for people who don't see themselves as like having a deep connection to national parks. It's really anyone who's interested in living in a better world, being a better community member to others, being a strong leader, and being the kind of leader that we all need as we look at the increasing challenges that we're facing globally, if not also locally.
Yeah, and so you're hitting a key theme here that we've been seeing in a lot of these career conversation podcasts, which is like raw passion, a lot of raw passion into your application. A lot of students are like, that can't be it, right? They have to be looking for someone that can code, or someone that can do soil science, or is a hiking trail expert, or can do ArcGIS. But really, a lot of times it is about like just your raw passion for the organization and for the mission. And so I think you're hitting on that.
Yeah, I think the thing to remember is that all the students here have achieved a lot in their academic pursuits, and that shows that they can learn new skills. We know that if you're a student at UC Merced, that you're capable of learning new skills, and those skills are trainable. But that passion, that commitment, that desire to make a difference, that we can't train. That you develop on your own. That's something that you bring to the table. And if you can communicate that effectively to people like me, who are looking for participants or looking for employees, no matter what job you're applying for, I think that will really carry you. It'll carry you at least through the first round of interviews. So it'll give you a really good shot. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we come to this question, and this next question everyone gets, and everyone that is watching the program knows that my arch nemesis is bubblegum flavored ice cream. It is. I don't get it. I mean, I get like maybe you put a bubble gum in the ice cream, you chew on the bubble gum, but bubblegum flavor, like you're not supposed to really eat. Anyways, that's the bane of my existence. That is something that is the arch rival for me. Is that the bubblegum ice cream? my question for you is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? Why is it not bubblegum?
Okay, well, my favorite ice cream flavor, I'm pretty old school. I like the old school Ben & Jerry's flavors, and my favorite is Cherry Garcia, and it's because there are humongous chunks of chocolate and like whole cherries in the ice cream, and I think that's just pretty extra. So, yeah, Cherry Garcia, that's my favorite.
That seems to be a theme. I mean, that particular ice cream company should sponsor this program.
Shout out.
It seems that we keep getting that over and over again. But notice that particular company does not have a flavor for bubblegum. So I'll thank you for sharing. I love that question. It always personalizes this conversation. Jesse is human.
Yeah.
And so...
Rob, I had one thing I wanted to go back to is your fourth grader. That's awesome. So the park pass that you're using to access all federal fee areas right now, that is because the National Park Service has an Every Kid Outdoors program where we engage every fourth grader, with an opportunity to visit national parks and be the leader for their parents, to be that future steward right now. Fourth grade is a great age, super curious minds, really able to like take in new information, but still not like super cool or too cool to be nerdy about things. And so it's just an awesome age. And we're about to I'll probably be seeing your fourth grader on our field trips that are starting up in March, because we're running 14 field trips in partnership with the Merced City School District. So if one of the things that people are interested in doing is connecting with their local community, we are not only here to work with college students, but also to reach out into the community from this campus and work with fourth graders as well. Take them up to Yosemite, show them the national park, talk about geology and hydrology and ecology in this awesome setting, this awesome classroom in the valley. So I look forward to. Let me know what school your fourth graders in, and I'll say high five.
It is true. I mean, I brought her up there, and she's suddenly interested in ecology and biology, and I'm sitting here going, our family history is all like social sciences.
What are we doing?
I have to open up a textbook. And so it's really interesting to see. And I think it's helpful, too. It really helps make the national park system, the state park system, live on generation after generation and really appreciate what's up there.
We started with fourth graders in 2016, and I'm really excited for the year. In a couple years, they will be in college, and I'm just hoping that the time when a fourth grader from Merced City School District is a student at UC Merced and applies to YLP, I'll be like, yes! I can retire now. We made it. We made it. We connected the dots. It's so awesome. Anyhow, I'm really excited for that moment. It's a couple years away.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited too. I think it's really, really awesome. Both the Yosemite Leadership Program as well as just having the national park system, having Yosemite in UC Merced's backyard is really, really a good access point for our students, but also the region students as well. In terms of I think you maybe have already addressed this, but I was going to say in terms of the future of the national park system and the state park system as well, what are you most excited about?
I think what I'm excited about is to see how we evolve. I think that one of the things about national parks is that we are in the perpetuity business. We are designed and intended to last forever. That is, the mission is to be around for generations to come, the generations of people, protecting national parks for generations of people that we will never meet. And so the thing that I'm really curious about is to see how the generation that is in college now starts to take on leadership roles. What are the things that we can evolve to do to meet people? One of the ideas that's really powerful right now, especially under Secretary Holland and Director Sams, is how do we better engage the tribes that call these places home and have called them home for thousands of years? How do we better interact in ways that honor the thousands of years of human habitation that has been a part of these places since well before any of us showed up in Park Service uniforms? And how do we integrate that knowledge and that management, that co-management of these places to protect them for future generations? Because if you think about the past, thousands of years of healthy ecosystems and wonderful places that were, environmentally intact and had tribes living there. And then thinking about the future, how do we also make sure that in thousands of years from now, people look back and say, oh, that was well taken care of. So I think that's a really important role and evolution that we need to make. And I'm excited to see how that occurs, how we can foster that, how the generation of students that is here now might bring their own personality, their own desires, their own sense of identity to national parks, because parks are not only places, they're also ideas, and ideas are held by people. And so I'm just really interested to see how they continue to change and evolve as society changes, evolves, and values that I think are really important become increasingly prevalent throughout society, especially with this generation that's in college now.
And that sounds really interesting and unique, and probably a lot of future opportunities for our current students to engage in that sort of research and explore further. In terms of starting to get involved on that idea, like I said, we have Yosemite. I mean, somewhat we have Sequoia too, Kings Canyon, all those fun places right around here. How should students start getting more involved? I mean, they can do the Yosemite Leadership Program, but is there any other programs out there that you recommend that students also engage in and take a look at?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different opportunities that, Yosemite Leadership Program is one, the campus-based component, but there's also a summer internship that we're recruiting for right now. So if students are interested, applications are open. They close on Sunday. There are 10 different internship opportunities. We've been able to increase compensation significantly. So now our weekly stipend is $150 a week. Housing is free. And upon completion of the program, there's a $6,000 educational award that students can earn. That's really significant. So that's another way. That's an opportunity to live and work in a national park for 12 weeks. If you complete the summer internship and then graduate, you'll have something called direct hiring authority or non-competitive hiring authority into the federal service in the Department of Interior. So any job in the Department of Interior that you qualify for, you could be directly hired. This is a huge benefit to UC Merced students that complete the summer internship program. And then there's another program that's actually being hosted by the field station, and it's called Field Curious. And this is for students that may have an interest in field work, in field research, but maybe don't have a background where that comfort in the natural world or deep in the backcountry of Yosemite or in the wilderness. Maybe there's some things that they feel like they don't have that they would like to have, so that they can feel comfortable applying for field research jobs or field technician jobs where they're actually doing science in the national park or in the state parks. Field Curious is a really powerful program and tool that they can find through the UC NRS here on campus. Runs both up in Yosemite and at the Vernal Pool Reserve on campus. So a really awesome opportunity to continue to develop and grow skills and become more qualified for the kind of opportunities people want to have.
Wonderful. And I like I said, right in our backyard. Now the free housing, they don't have to be in like a little hammock like on the mountain, right? I've seen people do that. I don't know why, but I've seen people do that. And so I think so. I know this is a fantastic opportunity for a lot of our students and maybe even beyond as well. So I want to thank you for being on today's program and look forward to hearing more in the future from you regarding updates from National Park as well as our state park system. And if you're tuning in right now, just a reminder that we upload career conversations almost every single week. And so appreciate you viewing in and look forward to seeing you at a future program. Thank you.